President Trump says that the U.S. and European Union have come to terms on a sweeping trade agreement. The president announced the decision during a meeting with the European Commission president. The agreement comes after President Trump unveiled reciprocal tariffs back in April. The deal now imposes a 15% tariff on most European goods, including cars, computer chips, and pharmaceuticals. The deal also includes zero tariffs for strategic goods such as aircraft parts and certain agricultural products. Additionally, EU companies are set to purchase from the United States some $750 billion worth of natural gas, oil, and nuclear fuel over 3 years. And joining us now to talk more about this is Richard Stern from the Heritage Foundation. Richard, great to see you again. And, first off, $1 million question, what am I going to get out of this? As consumers, we want to find out what can we expect from this deal?
Well, I thank you for having me on to talk about this. So I think the most important thing is it's opening up markets for U.S. producers to export abroad. And that, of course, means more money coming into the U.S., and that makes it easier for you to then buy stuff from other countries as well. It brings down prices. It means you have access to the best stuff. It also means that our manufacturers have access to the best and cheapest inputs from around the abroad. So at the end of the day, higher wages, more job opportunities, lower costs for consumers.
And how fast do you think we're going to see these prices drop?
Well, that's going to take some time. Whenever you change business arrangements, it takes time for new businesses to form, for people to figure out how to take advantage of what's going on in a positive way. But, at the same time, though, part of why the stock market's at record highs is optimism about deregulation and tax cuts here at home and expanded markets abroad.
And no doubt that this deal with the EU is going to affect other deals between the United States and other trading partners, right?
Oh, absolutely. So I think two of the big things here, of course, is that the EU has been trying to force, minimum taxes on businesses around the globe, mostly U.S. businesses, and taxes on digital services on things that the U.S. specializes in. And that would box the U.S. out of global affairs. It would bring China into more global affairs. So what Trump is negotiating here is something that will keep China at bay and put the U.S. more central to global affairs.
And that's the president's goal, right? To keep China at bay.
Absolutely.
All right. And what effects have we seen from the tariffs that Mr. Trump has imposed so far?
Well, to be fair, most of the burden of the tariffs so far have been felt by U.S. businesses, a little bit by U.S. consumers, but it always takes time for those burdens to trickle through to consumers. But I would stress this, though. The stated goal of the president on the tariffs has been to use them as a strategic tool to negotiate, not as a long-run device. So I think, we all know that if you leave tariffs around for forever, they eventually harm your own citizens and businesses. But if you use them strategically to deal with the things we've been seeing, then you can make great progress that allows for great prosperity for Americans, as well as dealing with some of these other issues like fentanyl across the borders in China. So, I'd say it's a short-term pain at the moment for long-term gain.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that these tariffs, they were against the United States for so many years and for so many administrations, correct?
Oh, absolutely. But, beyond that, it's, flooding fentanyl in and violating our intellectual property, stealing, the research from our corporations, producing knockoffs abroad. All of that is stuff Trump's been negotiating.
Richard Stern from the Heritage Foundation, thank you so much for your insight.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for having me on.